What's in a name? I want to invite you tonight to come with me on a very interesting journey. Let's look a little more closely and see just what is in this particular name. Tecalemit is set in the very heart of the West Country on the outskirts of Plymouth. I suppose most of us have heard the name at some time or another. Have probably seen this symbol in garages everywhere up and down the country. Those busy hands you saw just now, a few out of the thousands that work in the Tecalemit plant, they're engaged with products whose use extends into almost every field of industry. This is where it all starts, here in the design office, backed up by the development sections and the fully equipped laboratories, all of them engaged in intense research for new products, more effective production methods, greater precision, greater economy. Here, for example, is a machine testing the strength of hydraulic tubing to limits far beyond any that might be experienced when in everyday use. This is one of the many tests carried out in this development section, not only on new products, but also on those actually in production. In this way, constant reliability is assured. In this laboratory, new materials are tested. Nylon, for example. Here you see the nylon granules being poured into an extruding machine. Later it is drawn out to form tubing and then automatically cut to length. Here strands of terylene are being wound onto a bobbin. The use on this machine, which braids the strands onto the tubing, giving Tecalemit yet another nylon product, high-pressure hose. Nylon tubing made by Tecalemit is widely used today for fuel or airlines, while the braided nylon hose plays an immense part in the fields of pneumatic and hydraulic power transmission. Still in the fields of plastics, here is an injection molding machine at work, producing speedometer drive gears, one of the many plastic products produced at Tecalemit to fully comprehensive specifications in order to meet the exacting requirements of engineers. Every item in this wide range is manufactured to fine tolerances, is tailor-made to the customer's own requirements, and yet is competitive in price with other long-established materials. As with all Tecalemit products, the accent is on precision. This tool-room jig borer, for example, precision to a 10,000th part of an inch. Tecalemit build many of their own special-purpose machines, and their methods engineers are continually investigating the use of the most advanced techniques of the day. This is the auto shop, where more than 150 automatic machines are rapidly and efficiently producing an enormous range of products and components at the rate of millions a month. In addition to producing their own requirements, Tecalemit also manufacture parts for other engineering concerns or require large quantity production at highly competitive prices. This machine, for example, is turning out thousands of grease nipples, and this is only one of the 70,000 operations which are taking place at one at the same time in this factory. In this section, this power bending roller handles steel plate up to 3/8 of an inch thick with ease. And here we see an operation which turns a furnace-heated flat steel plate into a half sphere in a matter of seconds. Work which is highly skilled. Other products of this workshop are such things as vehicle lifts, pressure vessels, and oil tanks. Here in another part of the Tecalemit factory, grease guns are being manufactured in a vast range of sizes for use with everything from a sewing machine to a heavy locomotive. If you have a car and do your own greasing, you'll probably use a Tecalemit grease gun. This is the general machine shop. A vast panorama of machines, each producing a different component. Working conditions in this factory are excellent. 30,000 pounds worth of equipment has recently been installed to extract oil mist from the atmosphere, and this is one of the biggest installations of its kind in the country. Whilst a huge heating plant, which is oil-fired by equipment designed and manufactured by the Tecalemit Group, ensures a comfortable working temperature. Tecalemit are manufacturers of an extensive range of equipment in this field. Tecalemit oil-firing equipment is widely used in refractories, brick fields and potteries, and their Selectos oil burners are responsible for the central heating of homes and factories the world over. Tecalemit pioneered the grease nipple system in this country and are now major manufacturers. In this section, they tirelessly assemble them at the rate of millions a month. In addition, they turn out such fittings as this oil metering capillary unit. Tecalemit, too, are justly famed for their oil filters and elements, and each day thousands are produced by this particular section for the motor industry, the aircraft industry, and industrial machinery and plant manufacturers. Most of the leading vehicle manufacturers fit Tecalemit engine oil filters as standard equipment on their passenger cars, commercial vehicles and tractors, and recommend as replacements this company's felt or paper elements. Oil filters and elements form only a part of this section's flow line output. They also produce air cleaners for vehicle engines and paper ribbon elements which are used by various industries as strainers and filters for either air, fuel or oil, or as breathers on such things as gearboxes, hydraulic oil tanks and braking systems. Here is part of the factory where they assemble garage and industrial equipment, and their range of lubricating pumps covers practically every industry. This pump, for instance, is used for automatic lubrication of commercial vehicles. And here we have a selection of Tecalemit pumps, renowned for their efficiency and reliability. Whether manually operated or fully automatic, each of these products is capable of pumping a controlled amount of lubricant to a machine bearing. In this section, anything from a small mobile lubrication or firefighting unit to a large special purpose vehicle is built with the same precision and skill which one associates with all Tecalemit's products. Here, for example, we see a mobile servicing unit being assembled. And as a contrast, this particular vehicle nearing completion is part of a contract for special purpose vehicles treating aircraft with de-icing fluid. Tecalemit are responsible for the design and development of many vehicles such as this. Another example of the work they do in this field is this dual-purpose crash tender, 200 of which were built at the rate of 1 every 2 days, and which are now in use with the Royal Air Force on aerodromes in many parts of the world. This, then, is Tecalemit, a name that means so much. A large industrial enterprise providing congenial work for thousands with a superb canteen. It has well-laid-out sports grounds with bowling greens, tennis courts, football and cricket pitches. Tecalemit is an enterprise with the foresight to provide a sound pension scheme to put old established workers onto a salaried basis. People are happy at Tecalemit. It's a company with one of the best safety records in the country. A company that believes in first-class worker management relationship, and one that is always seeking to improve working conditions and amenities. Tecalemit finds its place in garages everywhere up and down the country. They provide a complete range of lubricating equipment. They also manufacture servicing and car washing equipment. Tecalemit and its subsidiary Foamite is well known too in the field of firefighting. They provide everything from a small fire extinguisher to a complete fire tender, such as the one you see here. In aircraft, too, the group of companies is at work providing filtration components and vital radar components. Tecalemit plays a vital part in providing oil-fired burners for the manufacture of bricks and pottery, and of course, in the central heating for homes. In fact, in 1,000 and more different ways, Tecalemit is at work, manufacturing a whole host of products which are used the world over. Many of these products and the industries in which they're used we haven't had time to mention. But they all have one thing in common. They all contribute to the smooth working of industrial, automotive, and aircraft equipment. What's in a name? By now you will have some idea of just what is in this particular name. This is Tecalemit at Plymouth, but the name encompasses the world.